says.
First thing I want to talk about is range, because Tesla say this will do 351 miles between charges, but in my experience, electric cars never do the range that...
How extensive is your experience, Jeremy?
How many electric cars have you driven?
2.
Ah.
Both of them failed to do the range that the manufacturer said they would do. Because it depends on temperature, it depends on a million things. And anyway...
As you've said, legally, we need to make very clear, it depends. It depends on the conditions. Most people are not driving like a maniac like you.
I'm not. I'm doing 34 miles an hour.
At the moment.
But so that we're clear, we completely accept that this car can do 351 miles between charges, don't we?
I don't know, I haven't tried it.
Well, I think we should accept that if that's what Tesla says and we don't have any evidence to the contrary.
What, you just take what a car manufacturer says as being gospel?
Well,
Vauxhall says its cars are exciting.
I wouldn't wish to contradict them on television unless we had strong evidence to the contrary.
Suggesting a claim of a manufacturer is untrue is not where we're going to go today, is it?
All right then, batteries. We on this show have some experience of electrical fires in a crash. And this has the same sort of batteries that the Brilliant had.
Yeah, that was in a crash, wasn't it? Drove off an edge and rolled down 2 hillsides.
What, you say Richard
right?
was too small to steer over the steering wheel?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that that was a crash.
What people don't understand is that if you crash an electrical car and it has lithium-ion batteries, it could catch fire. And often the fire brigade will turn up and they've only got water on board. So as you're sitting there on fire, you're then being electrocuted. It's just something that's worth bearing in mind, isn't it?
Well, I think we should make it clear that we're not suggesting that these cars have any inherent defect.
I mean, look what happened with Samsung with their batteries.
Oh, we're not going to start defaming Samsung, are we?
I think the battery is a good analogy for libel law and reviews generally, in that you have to it has to be balanced. You must have the positive and you must have the negative. Should we bear that in mind?
No, what we should bear in mind is what I've just written on the screen. I know an area we need to discuss. I think the biggest drawback with this car, actually, is the width of it. It's so wide, 79 inches, that it won't actually go across Albert Bridge in London.
It really won't go across the bridge, or do you mean it won't go through a width restriction, a road narrowing?
Right, so I have to say this is too wide to fit through the width restriction at the start and indeed finish of Albert Bridge.
That's perfect.
There is, however, one advantage to this size, especially in a supermarket car park, when your Model X is full of lawyers.
No, listen.
Mean what you say what you mean.
Stay
That's
there,
the law.
right? Stay there. Okay, got the phone, summon mode, forwards.
Enemy turret ahead.
The true enemy of humanity is disorder.
Sorry, that never ceases to amaze me. Little bit more, and stop. Right, now they can't open the doors, they're trapped, which means they can't interfere when I tell you this car's really big drawback. It's £156,000. There's a lot to like on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like. Thing is, though, is that an SUV that we all like?
Well, not at that price.
No, 156 is silly.
I do love some of the gimmicks, though.
Yeah, now on that, I have to say, you know the Summons facility it's got on it, OK? That didn't always work. Yeah. And then there was the business on the motorway where it checks for fast traffic coming up behind before moving lanes.
How'd you find that?
Science will reveal...
Well, I can't say. So I got a lawyer to write this for me.
Really?
It's my honest belief that a driverless system does not always behave as you'd expect, and when it doesn't, it can be discomforting.
Discomforting?
However, I acknowledge and accept that a number of external factors can reasonably result in a driverless car's decision to deactivate self-driving, including, but not limited to, other cars on the road unexpectedly accelerating.
So?
No.
What?
No, the avoidance of any doubt. These personal observations about driverless cars are my honest opinion and should not be regarded as any statement about the general safety, roadworthiness or mechanical effectiveness of this specific car or any other Tesla vehicle.
It is bloody fast, though, isn't
It
it?
is really fast. We actually put it round the Ebolodrome. It did a 1:29.6, which is the same as a 5-litre Mustang.
It's quick, isn't it?
It is quick. But anyway, we must park the Tesla now and move on to Celebrity Face-Off. Another important question, and it's this. Who is the world's fastest golfing enthusiast? Well, to find out, would you please welcome Rory McIlroy and Paris Hilton? Look at this! That is a surprise. What's up? How are you? Have a seat, Paris. Lovely to see you. How are you? Have a seat. We're not messing around. We're not messing around this week. No, you are both golf enthusiasts. You obviously are, because you're heavyweight golfing champion of the world.
Sort of need to be, yeah.
You, more of a surprise, but your family, of course, does own 50 golf tracks, doesn't it? So, or is it courses?
Courses.
So, courses, that's what it is. 50 golf. So you play quite a bit of golf?
I'm not as good a golfer as him, obviously.
As him?
Yes.
No, that figures.
But I have been playing since I was around 4 years old.
The one area of golf I really genuinely love are the golf carts.
Me too.
I don't think I've ever got out of a fully functioning golf cart in my life, ever, because I've always crashed them. I don't know what it is that makes you think, right, I'm going to go a million.
You would like my golf cart because I've got the restrictor taken off it, so it goes about 50 miles an hour.
You're kidding?
No, it does, yeah.
That's it.
It does.
How much damage could I do with that?
You could do a lot.
I love the golf carts. Actually, when I was a little girl, my grandfather has a Rolls-Royce golf cart and a Bentley one. So my sister and I decided that we wanted to race them. So we're going around the pond on the golf course and going so fast, I smashed the Rolls into this huge rock. The entire thing was smashed. I was totaled. We were so scared, we just ran away. And then later, my grandpa's like, where's the Rolls? Like, I want to go golfing right now.
Stolen.
I have no idea.
Stolen is the answer. That's what I always say.
Someone
stole
went and had a joyride in it.
I know one thing I wanted to talk about is golfing slang.
Okay.
Because apparently there's quite a bit of... Well, it's quite rude. Are you familiar with this?
There's a Richard Hammond, I know that, isn't it?
There is a Richard Hammond, which
Yeah.
means straight down the middle like a rocket, then veers off into the rough at the last minute. Jamie Oliver, you really want to smack it, but you can't. I actually like Jamie. I want to make that quite plain. This is not me. This is just golfing people. Ryanair. OK in the air, but landed miles from where you wanted it to be. Right, so we got onto cars, because this is another thing you two have in common. Genuinely an astonishing collection of cars that you both have. You started at the age of 17 with a BMW.
Yeah, I had a 1 Series was my first car, yeah.
Did that go well?
Not very well, no. I thought I was cool having a BMW at that age, just passed my test. Tried to do some handbrake turns in the golf club car park. Mm-hmm. That didn't go so well. Nearly actually drove it through the front door of the golf club. Hit a big high curb, bent the steering axle, and I literally had to drive it like this to keep it straight for the 5 miles I went home. And I got back to my parents and I said I had to swerve to miss a fox way home and hit a curb.
But any girls watching, they will have been impressed. We've argued this many times. When a girl sees a guy do a handbrake turn, it's like when a peacock does that feather thing. You say you're not interested, but you are, aren't you?
I think it's pretty hot.
There you go.
There you go.
First honest girl I've ever met. So that was your 1 Series, and then you moved up quite quickly to age 19, I think.
19, I won my first professional golf tournament at 19, and I always thought the image of success was a Ferrari, so I bought a Ferrari at 19.
How the hell did you insure it?
The premium was quite high.
Make it live for us.
25 grand a year.
You need to win a lot of golf.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
And did that kindle like a love of Ferraris?
It did, yeah. And I always know that you've loved Ferraris, and the reason that I have the cars that I have at the minute, I saw you test drive the F12 that I have, and the other.
The F12?
Yeah.
That's a scary car.
Yeah.
You've got an F12 now?
Yeah.
That's almost too fast. And didn't you get a LaFerrari?
I've got a LaFerrari, yeah.
Because why did you go for a LaFerrari and not a P1, which I proved on this show was
I
better?
would have killed myself in the P1, I think.
Yeah, the P1 is nuts, but they are brilliant. I mean, the LaFerrari is also...
It's incredible. I mean, I haven't taken a LaFerrari on a track like what we obviously did today, and I don't know if I'd want to. I'd be so scared of flipping it or rolling it.
That's where it belongs on
I know.
Yo, Space Jam, that's a sweet movie, dude.
That's an impressive car collection. Well, not really a collection, but two, they're really...
Hell yeah!
But yours is not far behind, because you've got McLaren.
Yes.
It's 650, yeah? It's absolutely...
I love it. I think it's just such like a sexy car.
It is. And then, and I really hate to say this, my favourite car in the whole wide world, you also own, which makes me slightly murderous, actually, is the word I'm looking for. You've got a Lexus LFA.
I actually got the second one they ever
Dude, report me for throwing and cheating.
I was so excited. And just driving on the street, no one had ever seen it before, so they really looked at it like a UFO or something.
Yeah, it's definitely a head turner.
Didn't you drive a Bentley every day?
Yes, I actually had a Bentley custom made, so it's all baby pink with crystals all over.
Oh, well, there
you go.
It's very pink. I used to drive it all the time, but when I drive it, it's literally like Mickey Mouse at Disneyland. People are pulling over on the freeway,
I wonder why.
taking selfies. It causes like accidents almost, so I try to keep it at home now.
Anyway, listen, you obviously came to do your laps. There's no snow this week, which is good, but it's still quite greasy.
It was icy.
Yeah, it was a little
icy.
greasy, yeah.
Icy and greasy, so we're not going to be looking for a record time today. And you were seriously pushing it by all accounts.
I was.
I mean,
I love driving fast. And I love when there's no cops around to pull me over, so it's...
Yeah, exactly. Well, anybody want to see an outtake, actually, of Paris trying really hard? Let's have a look. This is the last corner, which you've got to slow down for, which we obviously never told the poor girl. Here we go. That's a properly big one, and well done. You did have a problem, apparently, with that last corner.
Because I just wanted to go so fast at the end, and then just making that right.
Because it's a really slow, you've got to slow right down to get around. Yeah.
I thought I was going to flip over. I was actually really scared at that point.
Would anybody like to see Paris's actual lap? Let's play the tape. Yeah, that's an aggressive start.
Let's go.
Okay, the first S. Ooh, beautifully done, keeping it very tidy. I like to brake there. Oh, yeah, was that left foot? Probably not left foot braking, that's panic braking. Oh, I say, nicely tail out there. On to the difficult bit. And how are we going to handle this? First right, wide, but nicely held. And completely off the track. But that's okay, back on it again now. Hitting rocks? Oh, that's family-friendly words there. Through the gravel cell, still looking tidy. Not necessarily the wrong thing to do, keeping it tidy. Ooh, that's wild. And now trying to get in shape, ready to go back on the tarmac. Bet this was slippery too. Oh, no, you've done that beautifully. And then, right, now, round the final left and on to the straight, flat out. Now, this isn't your tricky, but this is now, you've got to start braking now, and do you? Oh, yeah. That's heavy. That was probably too much braking, but there we are anyway. You've made it across the line. Nicely done. Good. Looks good. So what do you reckon then, now you've seen that? Are you feeling nervous?
Yeah.
I want to see Rory's lap.
Yeah.
Let's see if you chose the wrong sport. Here we go. Right, and we are underway.
Third, fourth, breaking the 50 board.
This is a man who's been listening to the instructors, haven't you? You can tell, that's nicely done. Listening to the instructors is always the key, really. Most men think, I can go better than they do. I know more than they do. Right, and holding it on. Yeah, are we going to take the Paris line? No, we're going to stick on the actual track.
Oh, a little bit. Just let it get too sideways, Rory.
Yeah, that's beautifully held through there. Smooth power application. Yep. And more of it. Yeah, you should have done this. You're in the wrong sport. No, this is looking very good indeed. Are we going to be able to control it here? Yep, very nice here. And keeping it to the right. which puts you in the right place for that left. You managed to keep 2 tyres on the track, so that's all right. And off we go.
Okay, come on, lift a little, turn in.
Probably not flat through there today. It's too slippery, too icy.
Here's the corner that we were having
This
trouble
is the
with.
tricky one, the last corner. Oh, a bit of understeer, but just keep it in. Oh, no! Oh, yeah. Just about made it across the line. Oh, yeah. So there we are. Right, now, just so you know, I've got some times we've had. Fastest so far, 1:17. Kevin
Peterson, yeah.
Slowest, Dynamo last week, 1:39.3, but the track was 2 feet deep in snow, so he has got an excuse.
Oh, my goodness.
He does.
Got your times here. Paris Hilton. 1:25.8. So that puts you... We're going to have a round of applause for that. You're faster than 2 people you've never heard of. Alfie Bow and Bill Bailey are both, well, around about that sort of time, OK? 1:25.8. That's the time you've got to do. 1:21.9. That is a very good time. Very good time. Faster than Hugh Bonneville. Faster than Hugh Bonneville, and he was on a dry track. So that was extremely good. I can't thank you enough for coming. I really can't. Absolute pleasure to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Paris Hilton and the world's fastest golfing enthusiast, Rory McIlroy!
Now, earlier on, we were in Canada, where we proved that medium-sized SUVs are useless at everything. But Mr. Willman said the tests we'd done were idiotic.
Yeah, he said people actually buy them to go canoeing and hiking and mountain biking. And he then also said that we could only come home
Deaver, be ready to
once we'd completed one more
When I'm oh, never mind. I'm not going to use it right now.
Why are we towing speedboats? Never mind that, James. Why have you bought a brown speedboat?
It's orange.
Never mind James's brown speedboat.
Where's your Alfa Romeo?
It was stolen.
No, it wasn't.
It was! I came into the hotel this morning, it's just gone. Literally gone. You know Canada is #1 in the world for car theft.
No, it isn't.
So, what I've done is I've replaced it with this Ford F-150 pickup truck, which is the best-selling vehicle, not just in Canada, but the entire world.
Yeah, but the fact is you've replaced your Alfa because we were told to tow speedboats and you can't fit a tow bar to a Stelvio.
The problem is that they've routed the exhaust on the Stelvio in such a way that you can't actually, as Hammond says, fit a tow bar. I think the thing is that in Italy it's unmanly and undignified to tow something. I mean, why would they tow something? It just slows you down. Soon we arrived at the start point for Mr. Willman's challenge, which was precisely in the middle of nowhere. James? What? This is a skip.
No, it's just all stuff that was thrown in.
But literally thrown in, yeah.
It's all boat stuff.
Is it? What, there's a traffic code.
Well, that's probably something to do with boating.
It isn't anything to do with boating.
It's an oar and a boat suit and a...
What are you doing?
Looking for bears.
Why?
Because one of the things I don't want to be is eaten by a bear.
I wouldn't worry about being eaten by one.
Well, I do.
Well, they do far worse than that. Oh, hang on. We have a message, and it's from Mr. Willman. Each of your cars has been fitted with a satellite compass which will direct you to the finish line. Whoever arrives first can claim to have the best SUV. Well, that's me.
Well, apart from you haven't got an SUV.
It's got a twin-turbocharged V6, same as the Alfa. Four-wheel drive, same as the Alfa. It's exactly the same colour. With all that cleared up, the race began. Right, where are we now? There. My compass thing says I'm going to go in that direction for 5.1 kilometres. How hard can that be?
Come on, little Porsche, this is your chance to show your off-road credentials. The Porsche is the only one with a proper four-wheel drive system for this. It can divert all of its power to the front wheels so it can scrub